some of the organization, they only go for autocratic leadership style. The reason is they want the work to be done. You always need a leader who can actually tell you about your strength as well as your weakness. They don't want to go for more production. They are sufficient with whatever they have. The person is like, yes, I am ready to do it now. Let's start. This is what the charismatic leaders actually go with. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students, and now we have finished motivation and we're gonna go with the leadership. This session I'm gonna explain you about what is leadership, what types of leadership we have, and what are the importance, the limitations and everything. In the next sessions I'll be explaining it to you. That is, the first one here is, what is leadership? Now leadership is the art. Leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. That is what leadership is all about. So if anybody asks you that, do you have a leadership quality? Please tell that yes, you do have, because sometimes you are making your mom or dad to do something what you really want them to do it. Even leadership becomes an art when they actually do it whatever you really want them to do it. So management is also there, and a leader is a person whom people will follow. So I'll tell you, earlier the days were there when people used to say leaders are born. Now let me tell you, because we know that management is a profession, we can actually create leadership qualities. Now gone are those days where people used to tell that leaders are born. Now here what it is, now we can make anybody as a leader. The only thing is, give him more powers, give him more authority, plus give him the responsibility also. Then I'll tell you, he can be a very good leader. But as I told you, leadership is the art. In a business setting, this can mean directing workers and the colleagues with a strategy to meet the company's need. A leader inspires. What does the leader do? The leader inspires others to act while simultaneously directing the way that they act. And lastly, they must be personably enough for others to follow their orders, and they must have the critical thinking skills to know the best way to use the resources at an organization's disposal. So a leader is a person who will only go with his strategic kind of a behavior. He goes with the planning, and then he will make the followers also to follow that. These are the things which a leader should actually have. And now let's understand the types of leadership. Now we have a lot of types of leadership, right? There are different types of leadership. According to our syllabus, let's go with the 3 to 4 types of leadership, but I have given you something more, that is 8 types of leadership here. The first one here is authentic leadership. Second is autocratic. Third is laissez-faire leadership. A very easiest way of leadership is called laissez-faire leadership. Then transactional leadership. Now the first one is authentic, then autocratic, laissez-faire, and then we have transactional leadership. Apart from that, we have still more, that is, we have transformational leadership. I'll tell you, this transformational leadership is very important, because nowadays in the 21st century, we actually see transformational leadership than transactional one. And then you have bureaucratic, charismatic, and participative leadership. So these are the 8 types of leadership which I'll be explaining it to you today. So please stay tuned and understand all the types of leadership. In a very nutshell, I'll be explaining it to you in a brief, that is, what all are the qualities, what is the nature of those leadership styles, and all the things. So the first one is authentic leadership. Now please understand, the recent authentic leadership approach seems to have evolved in the light of major scams and scandals. A blind race for profit and the personal gains and a short-term perspective involving the chaos of the top organization. It focuses on charter of the leader as a driver of positive interrelationship. Authenticity is about being genuine and not attempting to play a role, not acting in a manipulative way. That is what authentic is. That means a true leader, a genuine leader, a leader whom you can trust, a leader who is never biased, a leader who is only for the people, and a leader who actually thinks that work is worship. So authenticate leaders in the 21st century, it is very, very rare you can actually go for it, because you have all the major scams, people who are actually blind for profit, but still there are few people who are genuine. There are few people who think that work is only the worship, and there are people who feel that truth and fact are the only two tools where you can make profitability. Now this type of leadership, when you go for genuinity, you go for 100% truthful to your organization and to your people, we call that type of a leadership as authentic leadership. The second one we have is autocratic leadership. Let me tell you in a brief autocratic leadership where the power lies in one hand. When you have the power with you, the entire power is resisted to you. And then you will actually go for the work. Now what happens is you will feel a pride, you will feel that all the powers is with me, all that I can do is I can do whatever I want. Now what happens is the other way around, the followers are there, now they feel that you are acting like a dictator. There are people who actually take undue advantages of the entire power, but still the workers will work only because of the fear of getting out of the job. There is no job security, and they have a kind of fear, and then they work for the leader, and the leader will use the tools like punishment, demotions and other things so that he'll get the work done. Now this is what the autocratic leaders they usually do. But if you take in a positive way, autocratic leaders are the one who will actually get the work from the followers, from the colleagues, from the co-workers, and they will get the work done however it is in their way of going for an autocratic one. So we'll understand what is this autocratic. Now autocratic leadership allows the autocratic leaders to take the ultimate control of taking decision without consulting others. He will never consult anybody. He'll take the decision by himself. An autocratic leader possesses a high level of power and authority and imposes its will on its employees. This type of leadership provides to be useful where a close level supervision is required. Creative employees' morale goes down because their output is not given importance and is often detested by employees. Since they are unable to take any part in decision making, this results in job satisfaction and job turnover more. So you don't feel like actually working there because your creativity is not even appreciated. There's no proper performance appraisal. So what really happens here is the autocratic leader, he feels that the workers aren't working efficiently. That's the reason he gives all the punishments and all other things which will actually disrespect their feelings, their innovation, their creativity, their skills, their knowledge. But as I told you, some of the organization, they only go for autocratic leadership style. The reason is they want the work to be done. Next one we have is laissez-faire leadership. Now this is very cool kind of a leadership where the leader will not do anything. Everything is done by the employees themselves because they are self-motivated. They'll work for the betterment of the organization. They are experienced people. Only they need a person called leader who can actually just talk to those people and then encourage them while doing it. Now the laissez-faire leader will not even encourage, not even bother about what the other people is doing. So it is like you are there but still not there. That is what the laissez-faire leadership is all about. Now here it is, under this type of leadership, a laissez-faire leader does not exercise control over its employees directly. Since employees are highly experienced and need little supervision, a laissez-faire leader fails to provide continuous feedback to employees under his or her supervision. This type of leadership is also associated with leaders that do not supervise their team members. Fail to provide continuous feedback, resulting in high cost, bad services, failure to meet deadlines, lack of control, and poor production. That is what laissez-faire leadership is all about. Many of the organizations, they don't like a laissez-faire leadership quality because of all these demerits. That is, you don't need a leader at all if he doesn't do proper things. Now, feedback is something which a leader should always give to his employees or to his members. But here what happens is the laissez-faire leader fails to give feedback because the superiors or the people who are there, they feel that they are highly experienced. And the next one we have is transactional leadership. Now, transactional leadership, when we understand this, a transactional leadership promotes compliance with existing organizational goals and performance expectations through supervision and the use of reward and punishment. Now, you will actually see a leader who will actually reward people who does good things, a person who punishes people who doesn't do the work. Now, in transactional leader are task and outcome oriented. They are what? Task and outcome oriented. They want the result. They want the work to be done very good, efficiently and effectively. Especially effective under strict time and resource constraint and highly specified projects. This approach adheres to the status quo and employs a form of management that pays close attention to how employees perform their tasks. So here, transactional, you got it. You need this type of leadership. That is, you should always check what is your employees doing. What is the job they are doing? Is the job getting the person who is supposed to be doing it? Or the person, is he getting a job which he is supposed to do it? So it's always like a proper job analysis will be done by the transactional leader, and he will later give it to those people who can actually do it better. And whenever they does something better, he is a person who will always reward them, acknowledge them, and then he goes for performance appraisal. But the same leader, if the job is not done by the employee, he give them the motivational talks and all those things, and he'll get the work done even if they don't do it. Now he'll actually use his weapons like punishment, less salary, LOP, loss of pay, all those things he'll actually goes with the members and the employees as well as the colleagues. After that, we have one more that is called as transformational leaders. Now, when we go for transformational leader, now this is the real leadership style. Each and every organization always wants these type of leadership, but very costly it is. Now, transformational leadership focus on increasing employees' motivation and engagement and attempt to link employees' sense of self with organizational values. This leadership style emphasizes leading by example so followers can identify with the leader's vision and values. A transformational approach focuses on individual strength and weaknesses of the employees and on enhancing their capabilities. Now here, understand, you always need a leader who can actually tell you about your strength as well as your weakness. So if you get a person who is giving you his reviews about what you are good at, what you are bad at, now what happens is you can actually have time to sharpen your strength as well as minimize your weakness. And this type of leadership will motivate you from one kind of attitude to the different kind of attitude. That means your attitude, behavior, your sense of working in the culture will always change for a positive. That is what the transformation leader does. But very rare we get this transformation leadership quality, because many of them, they don't even know how to motivate the employees so that the employees can work more productively in the organization for the benefit of the organization. There are few leaders who feel that they are transformation leader, but they are not. They'll go for transactional leaders. But transformation leaders are only people whom the organization pays more. The reason is they feel that leadership is an art and they can motivate anybody to get the best outcome of whatever the person can actually go with. F.W. Taylor, in his scientific management, he always says that to develop each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency, transformational leader does the same thing. That is, he or she will actually make the employees develop their strengths and minimize their weakness so that the organization can take benefit of the strengths. That is what the transformational leaders does. After the transformation leader, we have the next one, that is called bureaucratic leadership. Now, this bureaucratic leadership is like a bookworm. That is, whatever is in the manual, he'll actually read it out and then he'll feel that the employee should only work according to what the book has been prescribed. He don't have his own creativity or his own way of managing people. He always go through the books and then the rules and regulation he'll check, and then he will address those people about it, and then they are supposed to get the work done. That is called bureaucratic leadership. Now, under bureaucratic leadership, a leader believes in structured procedures and ensures that his or her employees follow procedures exactly. It's like a bookish kind of a thing. This type of leadership leaves no space to explore new ways to solve issues and the fact work by book. So he'll go with what? In the fact work by book. Please understand this. This type of leadership is normally followed in hospitals, universities, banks, where a large amount of money is involved, and government organizations to reduce corruption and increase security. So they go with rules and regulations. They are very particular about the rules and regulations. Self-motivated individuals who are highly energetic often feel frustrated because of the organization's inability to adapt to changing environments. So that is where the bureaucratic leaders fail. That is, they can't grab the energetic employees. They can't hold on to the energetic employees. They can't go for a new concept because they always go with procedures, rules, regulations. They don't want to take risk in life. They don't want to motivate people to take risks. They don't want to go for more production. They are sufficient with whatever they have. That is what the bureaucratic leaders does. And when it comes to charismatic leadership, now this is the leadership where everybody likes to work with. The charismatic leader is visionary and works by infusing a high amount of energy and enthusiasm in his team. That person is like, yes, I am ready to do it. Now let's start. This is what the charismatic leaders actually go with. He sets a role model for his team and drives others to show a high level performance. This type of leader is committed to the organization and believes more in him rather than his team. The presence of a charismatic leader works as a boost for the rest of the employees, and therefore such type of leader should be committed to the organization for the long run. So if I need to tell you the charismatic leader, you can actually go with this. Whenever Saurav Ganguly was being the captain and he used to lead India, Indians had a pride saying that yes, we're gonna win this. The same way it happened with Dhoni also. Like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, he wanted to go with it. The minute MS Dhoni is there, the entire crowd used to actually yell, saying that okay, it is Dhoni who will actually be there and we're gonna win. So these are the types of leader which we are supposed to get, because seeing them, the team will also feel yes, we should work more. So that's the reason the charismatic leader will act like a role model. Now the charismatic leaders are the one who should be always in the organizational benefit rather than their own benefit. So that is where the charismatic leaders fail. That is, if they forget about organization and start making profit for themselves, now that's a problem. You should always stick on to what? Stick on to the organizational for a long run. So this is what charismatic leaders should be. Now, charismatic leadership may pose a risk to the company if he decide to leave to explore new opportunities, and it might take a lot of time and hard work by the company to win the confidence of its employees once again. So a charismatic leader should be focused. Now if he is not focused, then it's a problem for the organization. And lastly, we have something called participative leadership. What is it? Participative leadership. Now also known as the democratic leadership style. Participative leadership consult employees and seriously consider their ideas when making decisions. When a company makes changes within the organization, the participative leadership style helps employees accept changes easily because they had given a big role in the process. Participative leaders may be required for tasks that are non-routine or unstructured, where relationships are non-authoritarians and subordinates' focus of control is internal. Now here, when we understand the concept about the participative leader, it's exactly like democratic. That means this leader is a person who always take the ideas from the subordinates. He'll take the ideas from the employees. He'll take the ideas from his followers. But what really happens here is, you need to see that this democratic or participative leader, they always want the suggestions from others. That means they want other people to go for more creativity and innovation. Now, this is the one leadership style where people feel comfortable working under the guidance of a democratic or a participative leader. But wherever there is unstructured, now the democratic leader will come and he'll structure it. And whenever there is the organizational policies are changed, now what happens to the other employees is they feel that why this changes has happened. But when it comes to a democratic leader, the followers will never have any unrest. The reason is already the democratic leader would have taken an approach from the employee. So that is where they feel that the democratic or the participative leader will always act like a family. So that's the reason they'll go with more productivity and efficiency in the coming days. So these are the types of leadership which I have explained it to you, students. If you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.